So I teach prosperity, and I'm wondering, is there a difference for you between abundance and prosperity vibrationally?
The difference is not significant. It's easier to see abundance in all things than it is prosperity in all things, but really the words could be interchangeable. It all depends upon how those that you are interacting with are feeling it. If you can get someone to acknowledge the abundance that surrounds them, just the fact that the sun is moving around like it is, the fact that it is warming you as it is, that is an abundance factor that humans contemplate rarely. And yet it is enormously significant. The balance of your planet, the way it moves in its orbit with other planets, incredibly important. And the value of that cannot even be measured in human terms. But you could focus in appreciation on that abundance, and you could awaken within you a vibration that then would allow it to flow in all kinds of other ways. Esther was visiting with a friend on the telephone the other day, a close friend who has been experiencing some sadness. And as Esther was listening to her, after quite a few conversations, Esther is sitting in Texas overlooking the pool and the beautiful trees and sitting in front of these big, big windows and feeling appreciation for her experience and listening to her friend. And her friend sounded so wise. Oh, Esther was just shivering with enthusiasm for the way her friend sounded. She didn't even think her friend had any idea how far she'd come so fast and how wise she was being in this moment. She was sort of on a rampage, her friend, and so Esther waited, not wanting to interrupt it. And then just at this moment, when her friend finally took a breath, Esther said, "Oh, you sound so wise." And her friend said, "What?" She couldn't hear the word. Esther said, "Wise." What word are you saying? "Wise." And at that moment, an owl, a giant owl, flew over the pool into the courtyard, circled once, and landed in the tree right on the other side of Esther's pool, and just looked at her for a minute or two. Esther could not get a word out. And when she did, she was panting and screaming. Her friend said, "Is something the matter?" And Esther said, "No. We just received confirmation from the universe of your wisdom." In other words, they have been talking about the Sarah books. They've been talking about Solomon. They've been talking about this giant owl. Esther didn't even know she had an owl on the 40 acres. She's not seen it before. But for that timing, in that moment to come, you will never convince Esther that there is not non-physical intervention, aware of where you are in all moments, ready to reveal to you whatever abundance. Esther has never felt richer. She's never felt more blessed. She never has felt more wonderful than she felt in that moment with that affirmation of what she was speaking, you see. And this is the way we want you to feel about abundance. We want abundance as it comes to you, whether it comes in the form of a thought or an idea or a word or an encouragement or a friend or a hug or however it comes to you. As you acknowledge the abundance, we can't separate the word abundance from the word worthy. We can't separate the word abundance from the word worthy and well-being. It's just the achieving of a state of being that lets, right where I am, the best stuff in to punctuate where I am right now. And the universe has the ability to punctuate in ways that you will know it's punctuating, not in generalities. This was not just a freakish circumstance. This was not just a funny convergence of an owl flying by and decided to stop by and stare into Esther's heart. It was not, there was nothing about it that was not orchestrated, that was not co-created, that was not evidence of that kind of abundance, you see. You've got vibrational abundance. You've got universal intelligence. You've got vibrational abundance. You've got more non-physical energy and clarity backing you up. You could not be richer, you see. But you got to find a vibration that allows you to translate it into meaningful things for you. And we think a pile of money is a paltry, puny evidence of the abundance that is there. Oh, it's nice. It's nice, but it doesn't buy owls.
And is that where most people get tripped up around abundance and prosperity, is they associate money to it primarily?
Yeah, mostly. But mostly it's because they associate what isness with it. They're taking score. They're taking score of what they have, what they own, what their assets are, what their debts are, what they can buy. So they're making it all about manifestation instead about vibration.
Nice.
You have to make it about feeling and about vibration. That's why we said, what does abundance feel like? It feels like being blessed. It feels like being able. It feels like being capable. It feels like being able to do what you want to do. But if it feels like not having to do what you don't want to do, that's not abundance. If it feels like not having to live someplace you don't want to live, that's not abundance. It feels like that and that and that and that. For a while, we were encouraging a creation box. Just get some sort of a container and tear out pictures of things or write notes to yourself, things that represent how you want to feel. And Esther found one of her creation boxes the other day. She hadn't looked through it in a long time. And it was very pleasant to look through it and remember the feeling that the picture produced, and then to see in her own experience the manifestations all around her in such specific detail. It shook her up for a little while. It shook her up in the sense that it made her realize the power of focus, the power of desire, the power of an inspired action, but most of all, the power and the desire and the compassion of non-physical energies to support you in whatever matters to you. That's why we say abundance is tied in with worthiness. Because if you're not letting it in, it doesn't matter how much is lined up outside your door. You got to figure out how to get the door open.
So the word attachment seems to want to play in the conversation here. Could you expand on, the attachment that some people have to maybe like achieving prosperity or abundance?
We don't like the word attachment. We don't want to activate that.
Cool.
All kinds of people have got all kinds of screwy vibrations going on.
Yeah.
Replace them with those that aren't screwy.
Got it. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Second topic, and it's kind of related, but how do we eradicate poverty from the planet?
You can't push hard enough against things. There's a war against, a war against, a war against, a war against, a war against. They're all getting bigger. Because when you give your attention to it, you hold it in your vibration. So you don't eradicate anything, you just emphasize something else. Okay. It's like, how do you eradicate darkness from the room? Turn on the light. There's not a source of poverty. Poverty is pinching off the source. So you don't pinch off the pinching off the source. You open the valve. You turn on the light. You dance in the streets. You show evidence of abundance. And you point out abundance that people are living that they're not calling abundance. You call attention to the abundance that's there. So when you decide to just give up trying to control anything, give up trying to control their behavior, give up trying to control their actions, give up trying to control their beliefs, give up trying to control their vibrational patterning, give up trying to control it, and just tune in to this source that is you. Gain the leverage that you always gain from alignment and radiate your signal, which if they're ready for it, they'll catch hold of. And otherwise, words don't teach, you see. You just got to know it and live it. And as you know it and live it, those who want to know and live what you know and live will gravitate to you. They will find a way. Law of attraction will show them the path, you see. So let's say you've gathered a group of people that have come to a prosperity seminar and you're wanting to express to them what you know. We would say, I want you to forget everything that you think you know about where you stand in relationship to where you want to be. Because I know for sure that you have a distorted view of yourself. So I don't really want to talk too much to you about where you are, because I am assuming that the fact that you're here means you want something different. And I don't want to keep beating the drum of where you are, because it will just make it harder for you to hear what's coming next. So this is a simple premise of my abundance seminar. It's everywhere. You're on a treasure hunt. It's available to you. You just haven't been looking in the right places. I'm going to show you where those places are. That's how we would approach it. And then eventually you got to get to what we talked about this morning.
Yeah.
It's a vibrational place. It's an emotional place. It's a feeling place. Abundance is first a feeling. Without the feeling, the evidence cannot come. But once you get the feeling, then the absence of the manifestation, the sting is gone, and then the fun of watching it begin to roll in. You've experienced it. We know you have. Especially when you're new to this material. When you're new to it, your expectation is greater, you see. And when your expectation is greater, then your desire moves faster into fruition. We have a question for you.
Yeah.
What kind of abundance are you seeking for them? What richness are you wanting to guide them toward?
Good question. So what showed up was inner freedom.
Yeah. Alignment.
Yeah.
Alignment. That's the abundance that you want to guide them toward. Because if you can help them tap in to the stream that provides everything, we think sometimes that the subject of financial abundance is the hardest subject to start with, because it's the subject that is showing you evidence all day, every day. So if you could start with something easier, can you think of anything?
I mean, from your teachings, appreciation and gratitude are the ways that I get instant prosperity and abundance in my
Yeah,
field.
but that's so boring. When you need money and you've come to abundance seminar and somebody starts babbling about appreciation.
All right. So for me, it's like puppies and kids and being around the ocean. I mean, that's...
Yeah. We agree with you. But we're talking about how can you convey to someone that they are the vibrational basis of what comes to them. Jerry and Esther spent a good deal of time, especially one long summer, on a raft floating down a river in Montana. And the river was not a really fast-moving river. It wasn't a white water experience. It was a pretty fast-moving stream. But sometimes they'd get into a part of the stream that was barely moving. And they could maybe even sit there for a while if they wanted to. And then they would paddle out to a faster moving part of the stream, and off they'd go. And they could, just by paying attention, they could see the current. And so they could adjust their ride on the river to something that was slower or something that was faster, just because as the river was wider or narrower, and there were even currents within the stream that they couldn't see the reason for, but it was because of the width or the narrowness of what was beneath the surface of the water. And so it's like that in your experience, isn't it? In your financial experience, in your money experience, that sometimes the stream moves a little faster and sometimes it moves slower. So do you remember a time in your life when you felt freer about dollars, and what did that feel like? And then get them to ponder that, get them to think about that. And a lot of times they will say to you, I had far less, but I felt far freer. They will say to you, I didn't have the debt that I have. I didn't have the assets that I have, but I just felt freer. My money felt good in my pocket. Do you remember a time when money didn't worry you? Do you remember a time when money thrilled you? Do you remember the silver coin in the toe of your stocking? Or do you remember when someone, usually grandmother or some friend, sent you $1 for your birthday? Do you remember? Do you remember when something came to you unexpected, and do you remember how rich you felt and how many times you spent it and how good it was to put it in your wallet? Do you remember those feelings? Those are the feelings that you want to activate within them. Those are the feelings that you want to activate within yourself.
Yeah. Part of the program is also interviewing prosperity and abundance teachers. Would you be willing to be interviewed by me?
We have no money.
It's not about money.
Oh, it's not about money.
It's not. You know, prosperity and abundance is not about money.
So it's not about money.
And it doesn't exclude money, but it's not all about money. It's just a piece of the pie.
But what are the people that are gathering expecting?
What are they expecting? That's a good question. I think whatever associations they bring into the conversation, but for a lot of them, it probably is money.
Well, if we were standing in your physical shoes, that's where we would begin.
Okay.
When you identify what it is that you want to convey to them, and that's the part that we were wanting to activate within you. You want them to leave the conversation that you've experienced with them feeling freer about money.